Hello everybody and welcome to the first of the Green Room sessions at the Yard. It's in Cheetham, it's on Bent Street, just outside of Manchester city centre. It's this amazing space that you're going to be hearing a lot about over the forthcoming years, right? By the way, now it's 2019, about 2020. Our guests today, a band that are playing on New Year's Eve, big event New Year's Eve that's happening here, called Say Hello, Wave Goodbye, big party, headlined by Saytr Play. How are you guys?
Good mate.
Nice to see you all again.
And yourself?
I'm always very vocal about my fondness for your band. You've got a great band. Love the people in it as well. And I just want to talk to us all about the history of the band. I know roughly how the band started, but give us a little brief history for those that aren't familiar.
Yes, so
to play.
It's quite a long story to be fair.
Right. We've got a long time.
But yeah, it was one of them. Like, so I was training all my life. I was quite had a lot of energy, didn't know what to do with it, and then I found acting.
All your life so far.
Well, yeah,
It's not all of my life.
all my life.
Unless it's something.
I mean, 27's coming up. So. But no, so like I've always, that was the first thing I found like a passion for, and I put all my energy into it, and I went on the route, you know, acting at college, and I went off to university, drama school, whatever, and then did it, and I met Jamie, and he was on my course, and we didn't even realise, and then we walked out of our flats one day, like both at the same time, like, oh, you're right, man, you're on my course. But it was like proper one of them moments where he had his guitar and we were just chatting, and he was doing guitar for like a Christmas show, and he was like, listen, I don't want to sing, can you sing? And I was like, nah, I really can't. But he,
Did you really think you couldn't sing back then?
genuinely, mate, like,
Right.
even coming up as an actor, you get put, oh, do this musical.
Yeah.
I was always the talking role.
Right.
Like always, and if I had to sing, it'd be more like a character, you know, like
Yeah.
because you have for musical theatre, you have to sing in what they want
Yeah.
perfectly. Whereas it wasn't until I met Jamie that I realised I could sing how I wanted, and I could get all, because I used to write a lot of poetry and stuff, and turn them into songs. And so anyway, I'm going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what a lot of musical theatre is, trying to find like a certain type of voice.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, when you're creating your own music, you can sort of use what you've got, you know, Fred's voice and our sort of playing style to kind of influence it in the way that you want it to. So whatever type of voice you have, like any of my sort of favourite singers throughout, you know, musical history, they'll all have something unique about them that maybe wouldn't have been accepted in certain circles.
Yeah.
And so you could probably say the same about Fred's voice. So we basically, like his
I
own.
was going to sing about me in general.
But yeah, so you can take, you know, if you've got quite a unique voice or a unique take on music, then you can kind of build your own musical style around that instead of having to fit into other people's idea of what your voice should sound like.
How did you come across these two here?
Big time, yeah. So he convinced me,
Yeah.
and we did this show, and everyone was like, oh, have you two been a band? And we're like, yeah,
No.
ages. And then Dan actually was sound engineer in one of the gigs we did, like a charity thing.
What venue
And,
was that?
It was in Preston. It was some awful bar.
Right.
Was it A&D?
system had to bring everything.
No comment.
It doesn't exist anymore. So that's,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we can say what we want.
Yeah.
The gig was great though. It was a bit of a throw together, but that's how I first met these guys.
Yeah.
And then they went, oh, we want to record some music. Have you got any access? And I had access to a studio. And they recorded a load of bass parts. And went, oh, we haven't got a bass player. So that's how I picked.
So a lot of serendipity going on. Is that what they call it? These little moments in time where you meet each other, like
Yeah.
Literally, it was just like us becoming a band was not forced, and it just happened. And then we were like, "Oh, we're a band."
yeah.
Like,
And he's Adam, the latest member to join.
yeah.
The
So
newbie. Are they looking after you?
A little rough.
Yeah,
a little baby Adam.
Did they bully you? Did they bully you?
We do.
Yeah, they do a bit.
We're trying to toughen them up, you know.
the best thing I actually heard was we try and be like really supportive, and we don't want him to feel new, or the
Yeah.
newest member or whatever. And then Jamie, we have this thing where Jamie doesn't really drink, and we call him Toucan Jamie because he comes to life. And the other night we met 10-can Jamie or something, and he comes to the car, and Adam's like, I'm not in the middle, and Jamie goes, oh, newbie, middle. I was like, whoa.
So I'm guessing you three, you've got pretty local accents, but
Yeah.
You're not from around here.
No. I mean, you probably couldn't even guess where I'm from. It just kind of hides itself. I'm from Liverpool originally, but
Really?
then yeah, because the thing is, my accent was never that strong to begin with because neither of my parents are Scots.
There's a bit of northeast going on in there as well.
Maybe people have told me I'm Irish. People have told me I'm Geordie, American. I get everything.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I mean, I lived in Liverpool for 20 years. Then I lived in Preston for 4 years, and now I'm in Manchester. So I'm kind of behind enemy lines a little bit. So I need to sort of suppress it.
Yeah.
And it just kind of neutralises itself. And part of that is the acting training as well, because a lot of what you get taught is not necessarily to kind of hide who you are, but to learn how to neutralise yourself so that you can become more adaptable and more easily influenced. So yeah, it comes out more strongly if I'm at home, if I'm around other scouts, or when I'm drunk as well. That's what happens. Jamie's scouts is everything.
The best is when you meet someone from Liverpool. Proper comes out.
Let's talk about Manchester then. I'm assuming you'll love the city as much as I do. Beautiful place, isn't it?
I'm Ryan is.
What do you love about it? What's so special about it?
For me, it's just it's just a sense of community.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, like this place that we're sat in right now, like things like this. Like you've got massive bands, you've got us trying to do it, you've got a lad making films. It's just such a creative city and a vibrant city. It's like, I mean, I'm personally proud to be from it. These lot have been drawn to it. Do you know what I mean? And that just shows what a powerful place it is.
Yeah.
There's no judgment either. Like I'm from Newcastle originally, and no one picks up on that. You know, even if the accent comes out, they don't judge me because of that.
Yeah.
I'm a Scouser and I don't get it.
You might get
Yeah, but that's different.
That's the best thing about this place is that there's so many different areas and so many different cultures.
Yeah.
And you can feel it in in what we do in the music. You know, people write completely different music.
Yeah.
People get into different types of art, into different education, everything. And I think this city has a lot of that.
I've always said that, particularly in the music fraternity, there's always a lot of support for each other and collaboration and not competition really. It was like that back in the day, like in the 90s. It was all the bands supported each other and it wasn't competitive. We were happy when the Roses went in the top 40 for the first time, whatever, and we were massive fans of the Happy Mondays, and it was always very supportive, and it's still like that now. I see you guys doing it a lot. I saw Fred jump up on stage with somebody recently that it was somebody else's gig, wasn't it, for the XS thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was up in a spontaneous duet with somebody, and I love that. But I think it's a reflection of what the city's like and the people of the city, and it's a great place. If you've never been to Manchester, get your ass over it. Brilliant.
Big time.
Let's talk about the kind of musicians, bands, artists that have inspired you over the years. Starting over there, what's your favourite artist of all time?
If it's Manchester, it's Elbow.
Really,
I
yeah.
love Elbow.
Yeah.
We met them when we were recording in Blueprint.
Yeah.
I think they were doing.
We shouldn't have as well.
Right. Jibbing.
Bit cheeky,
yeah. They actually use this space as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
The yard. So it's again a great example of these, like the Cortinas are in the other room at the moment doing the signing merchandise.
Yeah.
Elbow were in here a few weeks ago. Who's the other big name they've had in? Stereophonics have been in here.
Mad.
And it's just this little place in the middle of Cheetham Hill, which is, by rights, it shouldn't be this hub, but it's here and it's just going to develop, innit? Adam, favourite bands, favourite artists?
Manchester, love the Stone Roses. It's the ribbons and everything that they got going.
Forget Manchester.
Apart from that, I love Depeche Mode, man. I've always loved Depeche Mode. I love like 80s. I used to be a DJ at Jimmy's, which recently just shut down.
Yeah.
I used to be resident DJ there, so I've always been like influenced by pretty much any music that I can come across. Just love it all.
Yeah, Depeche are a great band. Have you ever seen them live yet?
Yeah. I've seen them like France, Germany,
amazing.
a lot, mate.
I saw them right at the peak when they did, what stadium? Dodgers Stadium, LA?
Yeah.
90 or 91.
Yeah.
Played there for like 2 or 3 nights, and support bands with the Pet Shop Boys and some. It was just like one of the most amazing live experiences that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Apart from the Grinch the other night at the Lowry. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas or whatever. Or How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Can you believe I'm comparing the Grinch musical? One of them moments you just like knocked out. Absolutely stunning, that's class. It's happening this Christmas at the Lowry. So, what about you, Fred? Who are your heroes musical, apart from the Inspiral Carpets?
Apart from the legends themselves. No, I think like as well, because they're both saying Manchester, I think it's important to say like other influences, because our band, people can never put their finger on it, and that's because we're all so different.
Yeah.
You've copped out with Elbow.
A little bit.
Because he likes weird stuff, man.
Like
Yeah.
It's weird electronic music.
Yeah. I think
Aerospace thing, yeah.
there's a weirdness about Elbow, isn't there, in terms of you never know what they're going to do next.
Yeah, especially in the drumming department, I think.
Yeah.
It's always a bit strange and a bit like it's almost electronic inspired actually.
Yeah.
That's close.
And like the new single, like White Noise, White Heat.
Yeah.
Is it because it's called White Noise, White Heat? Is that the David? Is that the Velvet Underground?
That,
It's White Noise, White Heat. Yeah. What's the Velvet Underground track?
I have no idea.
White Heat, White. Anyway, but yeah, it's like it's a single. They made it a single. But it's got the most weird vocal. There's like it's like Guy's voice again, an octave below growl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be a pop single, but it is, and it's probably a successful single.
Mm.
Dan, who are your heroes?
Jen.
Yeah. Well, from a guitar playing perspective, it's kind of.
Sorry, Jamie. Cut there. So, Jamie, who are your heroes?
So from a sort of guitar playing perspective, it's kind of the usual suspects. You've got
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, obviously,
Yeah.
and Metallica and the likes. Like I sort of remember, because I used to be into more bands like Maxwell Park and Franz Ferdinand, and I still love them as well, and Arctic Monkeys. They were the ones that kind of got me into sort of music, like finding my own favourite style.
Yeah.
And then when I started hearing these guitarists, that's when I sort of wanted to pick up the instrument. Like I remember the first song that made me want to was I heard a live version of Purple Haze Hendrix. I think it was at Woodstock in '68, and it kind of infatuated me. Like I didn't realise that kind of thing was possible with that instrument. And then I was just watching loads of you watch a load of videos on YouTube and you listen to as much as you can. And then remember, I watched his performance of Hey Joe at Monterey Pop in '67 and watched him play the guitar with his teeth. And I just saw that and I was like, yeah, one day I'm going to do
It
that.
can do that.
And it can,
It's
it's not that hard, But yeah, like it was those kind of artists that got me into it. And then throughout time, especially when we started playing together, it was I wanted to listen to more like acoustic based artists like Tommy Emmanuel, Adam Rafferty and the likes, and then I sort of tried to diversify really and just try to listen to as much as I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, those sort of guitarists are kind of the core of my favourites. I always go back to them because they sort of anytime you're in a bit of a musical rut and you feel like you're not progressing, you just go back and listen to those old favourites, and it kind of reminds you why you fell in love with that type of music in the first place. Really.
Inspires you again. Fredo, there's a lot of David Bowie about you. I assume Bowie's one of your big ones.
Yeah, I think, well, this is the thing for me, like, my mum brought me up, first it was like swing music, and like, she still has it on in the kitchen on a Sundays, like, she loves that, but then it was also like Kasabian, so I kind of skipped a lot of these bands that are now my favourite as a kid, and I was a bit more of like a pop punk guy, and then I found later on like your Bowies, and because I remember when I was quite young, someone come up to me and was like, "Oh, you look like Iggy Pop," and in my head I was like, "I don't know who that is," and then I obviously went and looked and was like, "Bloody hell, this is the kind of thing I am actually into," and I think like the Bowie reference, like I don't try, and I know a lot of people might look at me and go, like Bowie, do you? But for me, it's more the performance of what he did. So like I do have influences like Cage the Elephant are a big band for me who I like adore, but I also go back to the acting thing and I get inspired by performers. So like the new Joker film that's come out, Joaquin Phoenix,
it's amazing,
that kind of physicality comes into my performance because it is a performance, and you don't look at it and go, "Oh, he's doing the Joker," but I'm doing this and I'm copying it, and people just go, "Oh,
that's a good movie.
That was cool." And I just find that really fascinating because for me, I want to get lost for an hour.
There's a lot of similarities. Well, there's a lot of it's intrinsic in it, acting and being a musician. Being in a band there's a lot of acting involved in those nights when you've had shit with your girlfriend, you're not feeling great, and you've got a tummy bug, and you still got to go on stage and look like you're fucking really cool.
Exactly.
In that band, so
I think that was part of the reason that we started kicking off around the earlier times as a band in the first place, was because of our kind of acting training. We were able to kind of use that to influence our live shows, and basically deciding, well, it's not really like you can play with some bands who are obviously amazing musicians and they get up and sort of play, and it's like they're not putting on as much of a performance, whereas we just thought, what, even if we go up and play music that people aren't that into, we're going to put on a show for them. Like, and we, you can take various, principles about what makes a good performance, how to keep an audience's attention, and you put that into your music as well. But in the first instance, it was just us putting on a good show, and then people were like, "Oh, you know, we want to come back and see you again," even though we hadn't been playing that long.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Yeah, and the music wasn't that refined back then, but people just kept wanting to come and see us because they knew we were gonna, you know, put on a show.
And the interesting thing I found at that point is like people, like you'd get like that big guy come up to me and you go, "Hey, I don't usually like that, but that was mint." And I was like, that means more because we're opening people's minds to
It's
stuff.
always stood out, your band's always stood out. I mean, I first saw it probably 3 years and a bit ago at Sound Control, wasn't it? You did that gig first. And, but even then it stood out as being different because of that, like I said, the theatrical side of it, which is a great thing. Let's talk about some of the Manchester bands that we touched on it earlier, that there's a lot of, there's a great Manchester scene at the moment. I still meet a lot of people, usually older people, saying, "Oh, it's not as good as it used to be in the 90s, is it?" I believe it's better now than it's ever been in terms of the amount of variety that's going on. And you were right on the cutting edge of that. Tell us about the other bands that you love, the other artists.
Yeah, I think, again, we might all be a bit different.
Just in
the city of Manchester and the region now.
Yeah, I mean we're good mates with sort of Kashmir and that, and we're always playing with them. I'm really into some of the bands that are a bit further south as well.
Right.
There's a girl called Bessie Turner. She's writing some phenomenal music. She's got a band who performs with her. I think she's from Ipswich. And she,
Okay.
but yeah, there's a few others as well. Foxglove. Is
Right.
that what they're called? Yeah. I've heard a session with them on BBC Introduced in Manchester, and I was blown away by that.
I've not heard them yet.
I might have got that wrong.
Right.
Foxglove, I think, is what it
We'll check that one out. What about you, Adam? Anything local?
Obviously, Blinders are killing it at the moment. So they're Doncaster, but they've kind of made their statement in Manchester, and it's kind of exploded from there.
Did they come here to do the music? Or
They came in to do. It used to be at the same unit.
Right, okay,
as you went to BIM as well, didn't you?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't.
Oh, did you not?
No.
Oh, I went to BIM anyway.
Yeah.
They came to BIM to do. They were already banned in Doncaster anyway, and they came over to Manchester to like pursue the music stuff. And then obviously they exploded and they're killing it right now. Yeah, they're really cool.
Well.
Yeah, so I went to school with a few of them, but I was a lot older. But this is what I mean. It's like we seen each other like, "Yes, what are you doing in a band?" Same. Like, it's mint. Like, and I love that. Like, yeah, they're a good one coming up. There's loads, but my bloody head's gone blank.
Yeah, Lottery Winners and Plastic House, it's all together. Dance Hills just split up, haven't they?
I think Plastic House have as well.
Yeah, they're right.
But this is the like worrying thing because there's so much talent flying about Manchester, but it's just so bloody hard to like make it. And like even ourselves, like you saying we stand out for you means a lot because it's so tough.
Yeah.
And like no doors, we do get to that point where you feel like no doors are opening for you.
Yeah.
And the only thing we say to each other is, well, let's get to a point where they can't ignore us.
Yeah.
So we just go gigging everywhere we can, get a fan base so that these doors cannot stay shut because I'll just boot it down.
It's a shame how it's changed in 3 decades because a band like you back in 1988, 89, selling the amount of tickets you do at a gig, writing the quality of material that you do and putting on the show that you do, you'd have record companies lining up to sign you.
Yeah.
And now we're in a time where a band like Slow Readers Club, who've been brilliant for 11 years when they were called something else, they've been world class since 2004 when I first, and they're still doing it and still believing in it, and they're finally getting
the recognition.
They're getting recognition. They've got a massive fan base, that's
Definitely,
but they've still not got a record company throwing big money at them, and that's like just a travesty to me.
It's
As
crazy.
a musician, it's like, but it's because culture's changing, music culture's changed so much, and all you can do is keep making music because you want to make that music, and like I said, there's that saying, that, if you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it'll stay. So Saytr play, carry on throwing that shit at the wall.
Whether you like us or not, you stop it.
You know why? It's going to be covered in glitter.
So I think as well, like, another good thing about the Manchester scene is that one thing we got like, I guess, burdened with when we first started was we don't necessarily sound like Manchester sound. And a lot of people was like, "Oh, you're not a Manchester band." I'm like, well, I'm from Moston. I grew up in Moston all my life, so we are because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And like we've never tried to say, "Oh, we're a proper," like we just make music we want to listen to, and we like, and hope that people like it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got burdened with that, like, "Oh, you don't sound very Manchester," but it's not about that. Like for me, there's just so much coming up. Like there's a band called LOA State, and they're Do you remember a band called Cupids?
Yeah.
So they were
Sick,
amazing, and
yeah.
they should have done massive things,
Yeah.
but the industry didn't let them.
Yeah.
They broke up. But now a few members of that have joined forces with some other people, and they're making like a hip hop band.
Wow.
So it's like it's sick. It's really good. Like it might not be everyone's cup of tea. Like we might not.
Yeah.
But I just love that we're friends with people who are making completely different
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we all love the same
Yeah.
end goal sort of
Have you
thing.
crossed paths with pros?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Amazing,
unbelievable,
aren't they?
unbelievable. See, for
Right,
me,
so-
they didn't. I don't think they realised, but I was a big fan of what they do.
Yeah.
And they come up to us at a festival and was saying how good we were, and I was like,
Yeah, check out the
Yeah.
pros. It's like acoustic hip hop in it.
yeah, but it's class. His lyrics are mint,
The way it works with the audience as well.
Yeah.
All of them. It's,
Yeah.
it's great.
but it's passion.
Yeah.
You can hear it in his voice. Like that's it. If you're not like this, if you're not in it for the right reasons, it's pointless. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine us doing anything else, to be honest. We're not going to be working in offices and
Nah.
9 to 5.
Yeah, that's
all.
the. How's that side of things at the moment? Have you got jobs at the moment, or are you just?
Yeah, so to be honest, like, because I get this where someone, like a young fan might see me in work and be like,
Yeah.
like,
What are you doing working?
why are you working? And
Yeah.
I'm like, trying to explain in the nicest way possible, like, it's the real world, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because one of my colleagues actually said to me yesterday, he was like, how have you not blown up? And I was just laughing, like, appreciate it, but...
Again, it's the way, it's the age, isn't it? Again, when we started off back in the 80s, you won't tell, if you're doing an interview with your band, you won't tell the interviewer that you've got a job on the side.
Yeah,
You
because
were
it's not
embarrassed
cool.
about It wasn't cool.
I mean, and it's not cool, and I've been in situations where I've not wanted to say I work,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you've got to live, man.
It's reality. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's good to talk about it because
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah, because
you,
everyone's in the same boat, and
yeah,
like hiding that away can just kind of, it just makes you sort of suppress.
yeah.
You know,
Well, I mentioned slow readers, and until recently they were very vocal about the fact that they had jobs.
Yeah.
You know, even though they're touring in Europe and they're bringing out amazing albums and selling 2,000 tickets in Manchester, whatever it is at the moment. 2 nights at the Ritz, that's 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing, isn't it? But until recently they were driving taxis and doing whatever else, teaching, whatever else.
Yeah, it is, man.
But that's the reality, innit? But I admire what you're doing. And let's talk about this gig on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
You are the headline act, aren't you?
We are, yeah,
Are you
surprisingly.
going to be on stage at midnight?
I don't know, to be honest, we don't know that much detail yet,
Right.
but I don't know.
I think you should. I think you should time it so that you bring in the new year. Get your confetti cannons out. Health and
Okay.
safety glasses on, just make sure you get
So we get that one point in the song, which is like a big.
yeah. Try and time it as close as you can to midnight.
Right in my mum's face.
Yeah. you ever heard a story when I've been DJing every New Year's Eve for 18 years,
Yeah.
19 years,
Wow.
and this year's the first year I'm not working on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But it was on New Year's Eve, and I can't remember, I'm guessing 10 or 11 years ago, where the guy that booked me, it was at South actually, so make sure you bring your Big Ben bells, not big confetti job or that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a CD in my bag, I always carry it, it's always in my bag, don't worry about it, Big Ben, New Year's Eve. And when it came to about 5 to midnight, he comes into the DJ booth and said, right, are you ready, have you got timing sorted? And then, yeah, no problem. So have you got your bells ready? Yeah, no problem. So I played my last tune that was going to go up to midnight, which I think might have been Pounding by Doves. Reached in my bag and realised I didn't have my Big Ben CD with the bells on it. And I thought, oh, fuck. And he stood there next to me. It's Matt who owns the club actually, stood there waiting for his fucking bells. Like, you are? Like, yeah, fucking rocking it. I thought, right, what record have I got on CD? This is when I DJed on CDs. Somewhere there'll be a record that's got a bell sound on it. And I'm thinking, like, it's like 2 minutes to midnight. I thought, right, Aerodynamic by Daft Punk, which at the time was a fairly new release, and it starts with these fucking bells, doesn't it? But I think the single version that I had didn't have the intro with the bells on it, and I'm playing it thinking, I'm sure there's a bell break in the middle 8. So I'm fast forwarding this CD, fucking box, and I found it, and sure enough, in the middle there's a breakdown, and it goes boing. So I fucking got it and paused it, queued it up, and then when it came to me, I went like, Happy New Year! Play, boing, cue, play, boing. Aerodynamic, play. I fucking got away with that. And the guy that owns the club's like, hey, Aerodynamic, midnight, Happy New Year. Anyway, enough about that.
No.
So we've got Saytr play, Aziz Ibrahim, absolute legend. Is he warming up for you?
Yeah, apparently so.
I know, yeah.
So Aziz on the obviously, for those that don't know, Aziz was in the Stone Roses for a while. He was in Simply Red. He's played with some absolute legends, but he's one of the greatest musicians you'll ever stand in front of. Azizi's playing, Ambia, she's brilliant. Aria, I believe they're in the other room. And because of the amazing soundproofing, we can't hear any of it. They probably can't hear us. Lucas, Will Tramp, loads of DJs as well. And then they've got street food outside as well. It's outside in the yard, the actual yard of the yard. Malaysian cuisine and wood-fired pizza.
How exotic.
You can get your tickets on Skiddle. I think we're up to 15 quid tickets now. The first 100 were 10 quid, now they're 15 quid, but all the profits go to We Love Manchester, which is an amazing charity. So that's New Year's Eve at the Yard. Say hello, wave goodbye is the name of the event. See you down front for that one. And stay to play. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always. Have a great Christmas.
Thank you for your time.
Wonderful New Year.
You too, mate.